6'5", that's all the time, boy. I started at the bottom, I'm headed to the top. Yeah, I started at the bottom, I'm headed to the top. Started at the bottom, I'm headed to the top. Designated report.
Welcome to Designated Report. We have a wonderful new episode for you guys, a lot of new topics that we want to discuss. First, we're going to go right into this is our majority report.
This is the majority report.
First things first, we have Terell Owens, okay? NFL legend, Hall of Famer Terell Owens. Now, Terell Owens has been snubbed from the Hall of Fame for 2 years. And on his third year, he finally got in. But T.O., who felt slighted by not getting into the Hall of Fame sooner, which he deserved, decided that he was not going to attend the ceremonies in Canton, Ohio. So now T.O. has decided that he was going to celebrate with his family. He was going to host his speech at the college that he attended, his roots, where he came from. And apparently the NFL felt slighted by it, and now they're talking about they're not even going to announce his name at the ceremony. Now, look, you can call T.O. petty if you want. You can say that T.O. is being immature about the situation, whatever. I feel like I understand where T.O. is coming from, because here I am, one of the best receivers in the history of the sport. Like, this is not just opinions. This is stats. This is facts. Okay, this is facts alert. T.O. is top 3 statistically in the NFL, in the history of the NFL at that. So how do you tell me that T.O. didn't get in the first time, T.O. didn't get in the second time, and on the third time T.O. gets in? That's disrespectful. And it's a shame to these voters who vote to have personal agendas against Terell Owens for maybe not having been the best quote-unquote teammate or not having been the best person to interview, and they're going to take that on him and make it part of his legacy by not letting him into the Hall of Fame sooner. To me, that's absurd. Look, Marvin Harrison, who is one of the greatest receivers ever, is not Terell Owens, and he got in before Terell Owens. So to me, that's just, it's a catastrophe. It needs to stop. They need to stop letting these voters be people who cover these teams and these players and just feel like, well, if I didn't necessarily like Terell Owens, I could not vote him in when his numbers say that he clearly should be in at the snap of his finger. The moment T.O. retired, he could have been eligible for the Hall of Fame by his statistics alone. Now, we know it takes a few years after you retire for you to become eligible. But we're talking about when you become eligible, how do you not get in first ballot? That is a shame to me. Terell Owens is not going to attend. I don't blame him. Again, you can call it petty. You can call it immature. It is what it is. T.O. is going to celebrate with his family how he decides that he wants to do it. And I don't think anyone should be mad at him for that. That's absurd. We have Mark Canha. He is a baseball player who plays for the Athletics. Now, I know we don't talk much about baseball. Nonetheless, the Oakland Athletics, who play way out there in the Bay, who are not that good, even though they're making like a quick surge to get in the playoff picture, they're not really good. But the story that stood out to me with Mark is he hit a home run the other night, and when he hit the home run, he barely did a bat flip, but they call it a bat flip. For me, he more like lunged the bat and dropped it, but they're calling it a bat flip. And it was a significant home run because it kind of like helped the team win the game, and I guess the other team felt it was rubbing it in the face. So initially Mark had apologized for the quote-unquote bat flip, but after a while he caught himself while he was being interviewed by reporters in the locker room, and he was like, you know what, I'm not sorry. He was like, I'm really not sorry. And I'm like, wow, I respect that 100%, because how many times do baseball players or athletes in general come out and actually take back an apology that they initially gave out to a team or to the public? This guy here is celebrating a home run. Why are we mad at him for celebrating home runs? Why is the opposing team feeling like they need to go and throw at this guy and try to hit him the next time he comes up to hit, instead of trying to strike him out or get him out? So it's like sore loser mentality for me, for a guy to be better than you at one particular at bat, like in an instance for him to be better than you in that at bat, and for you to get mad to want to hit him instead of getting him out. That's sore loser mentality. And for people who get mad at these guys for celebrating, this is why baseball doesn't get a lot of viewership, because we're boring as a sport, baseball. Like, we don't let players celebrate. When they celebrate, it's going to come at the expense of getting the baseball at 90 miles per hour to their head. Like, come on, it's ridiculous. And the fact that Mark, who said, you know what? I'm not sorry. So if you're going to throw at me, go ahead, throw at me. But I'm going to celebrate my home run with another bat flip if I get another hold of one. I appreciated that and I respected that. Mark, shout outs to you, man. Richard Sherman. Okay, Richard Sherman, who's a former cornerback for the Seattle Seahawks, now plays for the San Francisco 49ers, has come out and said that the Seahawks has lost their way. Now, we know Richard Sherman, who was a long-tenured cornerback for the Seahawks, had a lot to say just about all the time, okay? But it kind of caught me off guard to catch him saying this about his former team, considering they won a championship there. They were like one of the most historic defenses in the history of the sport. So for me, I don't think it's much of a shot against the players as much as it is against the front office, because the front office has dropped the ball. Like Cam Chancellor has recently retired, and he said it's because like he wants to be healthy and wants to be more safe going forward in his life and living longer and like avoiding CTE. But a lot of people don't think it's that. A lot of people think it's because the Seahawks didn't want to pay him, and if you're not going to pay me what my value is, why would I risk my health long term for you? So Richard Sherman taking a shot kind of at the Seattle Seahawks is a little bit surprising, but not really at the same time. I just didn't expect him to do it so soon. I would expect something kind of like more in season, playing against the Seahawks. They're division rivals. Like they play within the same division. They play twice a year. So you have plenty of times to kind of like take your shot at Seattle if you wanted to. I was a little surprised it came so early, but not shocked overall. Isaiah Thomas, point guard now for the Denver Nuggets. Isaiah has been on what? 1, 2, 3, 4 teams now in less than a year. Okay, it wasn't long last year around this time in July where Isaiah Thomas was traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers from the Boston Celtics. Now, why is this even a story that Isaiah Thomas is now playing for the Denver Nuggets when he was recently playing for the Lakers after the trade deadline from the Cleveland Cavaliers, that the Lakers acquired him and Channing Frye from Cleveland? Why is this a story? Because around this time last year, Isaiah wanted a max contract. Isaiah was telling Boston Celtics that they needed to back the Brinks truck up to give him a $200 million potential contract. And we're all contemplating at the time, is Isaiah worth $200 million, yada, yada. But now he just signed with the Denver Nuggets for the veterans minimum. 1 year, $2 million. That's sad. And I think it's a little wrong the way that Boston Celtics treated Isaiah, not because they traded him, because anytime you can get a player of Kyrie Irving's caliber when he's available via trade, you make that trade if you can get a player like that, because Kyrie Irving is a world time better than Isaiah Thomas. But Isaiah Thomas last playoffs, he had a bad back, and he knew he had a bad back, but he risked that to play throughout the playoffs to try to get a long run going into the NBA Finals potentially. And his sister died, I think, in the first or second round of the playoffs, and then he played the very next day after his sister's death. Like, he took a lot of emotions and bottled that up to try to make that into an effort that would carry the Celtics to a long playoff run. It didn't work out that way. They got out against LeBron James, of course, in the Eastern Conference Finals, but he risked his health. He had a bad back, and we all know how backs could be. That could kind of like ruin your entire career. He risked that to play. He opted out of surgery to play, and now a few months later he was traded to the Cavs, and then the Cavs traded him to the Lakers, and the Lakers didn't re-sign him, of course, and now he's on a minimum contract with the Denver Nuggets. A lot could change in the year, and I feel bad for Isaiah that happened. Hopefully he can go to Denver, remake his game, remake his name, and bounce back, and next year get a lot more money when he hits free agency. Le'Veon Bell, our last topic for this segment. Le'Veon Bell, for the running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers, has been wanting a new contract now for the last 3 years. I feel like he has held out year after year. This is the third year that he's going into a holdout, I believe, and he's even, per Adam Schefter of ESPN, he's even said that he's willing to sit out the first half of the season if he doesn't get a new contract. Now, why is this a big deal to hear that football players are holding out to get a new contract? Yeah, it's common that football players hold out, but in this case, Le'Veon Bell is potentially the best offensive weapon, if not on the Steelers, in the entire league. Like, he helps the Steelers go. Not only do they use him as a running back in general, like regular formation, but they line him up in the slot. They line him up wide as a wide receiver. This guy catches almost 80 balls a year, and he's rushing for 1,500 yards yearly. Like, so why is he not able to get paid? And I understand why Le'Veon wants to get his money. Running backs, their shelf life in the NFL is not as long as wide receivers or quarterbacks because they get hit so much. So running backs are like the most probably interchangeable players in all of football. You can get a running back to just slide around on your team, and you go win a Super Bowl, which is what on the Steelers end makes sense for them not to want to devote so much money to Le'Veon Bell right now because they feel like, hey, we could probably just get another running back here in this system who has Ben Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown, and we could probably go out there and still be a top 5 offense in the NFL. But for Le'Veon, he has to do what's best for him. He has to protect himself from potentially playing on a contract that is way below his value, and he gets hurt, his career is over, and he never got his big payday. So Le'Veon has to do what's best for him. Pittsburgh feel like they have to do what's best for them. They've said that a contract would come to an agreement before this franchise tag deadline, which was today, and that hasn't come. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if Le'Veon holds true to his word and actually holds out. Makes for an interesting story in training camp coming up soon next week. All right, now we're going to go into our next segment, Are You Serious? This has become a fan favorite. We're going to start right now with the Are You Serious?
Are you serious? Really?
Michael
really,
Irvin
dude? Really, dude?
has recently come out in light of what T.O. said and not wanting to attend the ceremony in Canton, Ohio for the Hall of Fame. Michael Irvin said, and I quote, T.O. should not be announced. He thinks that the NFL is doing the right thing. He thinks that the Hall of Fame is doing the right thing by not announcing T.O.'s name at the ceremony. Michael Irvin.
Are you serious?
Are you kidding me?
Really?
Like, are you serious, bruh? Like, T.O. is a million times a better receiver than you ever were in your career. And I like Mike. Like, I'm not a Cowboys fan by any stretch, but I like Mike. I like this game. The whole playmaker stuff, him being so entertaining in his time of play. But Michael Irvin, are you serious to say that T.O. shouldn't have a way? He shouldn't have leeway to feel a way about not getting the Hall of Fame the first or the second time that he was eligible on the ballot?
Are
and
you
that
serious?
him not attending
Really?
the Hall of Fame, the NFL has the right to not announce his name? That's like leaving a part of the football legacy out of it just because the player has chosen not to attend or to not attend. How do you agree with that, Michael? Like, bro, are you serious?
Really?
Look, LeBron James has recently made a post today. I know we talk about LeBron a lot, but it's LeBron James. What do you expect? He's recently posted on Instagram today about his 2K rating. Now, LeBron's 2K rating is 98 for the 2K19 that's coming out in a few months. 98. NBA 2K19. Are you serious?
Are you
like,
serious?
Forget that he's the best player in the world. LeBron had his best, I feel like, LeBron had his best basketball year last year at the age of 33. Okay? His best basketball year at the age of 33, where he shot his best from 3 percentage at 38%. He shot his best from the field. He led a team that had a bunch of outcasts to the NBA Finals, even though they got swept. That team was not expected to get there. Like, we all said as the trade deadline unfolded and they didn't get any big-time players, we all said there's no way this team's going to get by Boston, even without Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward. And he still got them there. He had an amazing year. He had a 51-point triple-double in Game 1 against the Golden State Warriors, and we give him a 98 rating?
Are you serious?
I know 99 is the most a player could get, but LeBron should be 100 after the season he just had. Like, forget all of this 99 stuff. The fact that he's 98, like, who got 100? KD?
Are you serious?
Forget 100. Who got a 99? KD? That's absurd to me how LeBron is not a 99 rating at the very least. And he posted it, and I know he's using it as motivation because LeBron does that about everything. Anytime someone doubts his ability to even beat Father Time or to go and try to win a chip with a team that doesn't look like they should be in title contention, LeBron is going to use that stuff as motivation to be better. So this 98 rating and the fact that he posted it tells me that LeBron's already in the gym cooking right now, trying to beat the odds of that.
Are you serious?
Kevin Durant is arguing with teenagers in his direct messaging on Instagram about teenagers calling him out for not being a leader and not being as good as LeBron James is. KD, first of all, you're rich, okay? Second of all, you're a two-time champion. Third of all, why are you on Instagram paying attention to comments? Like, could you imagine if all these athletes just took time per day to go through comments and go through posts, all the things that they're tagged in to see who's saying bad things about them? Like, that would take up your entire day just trying to defend that alone. Why are you wasting so much time doing that, KD? You don't need to validate anything. Yes, we're going to say things. We're going to, like, not agree with the way that you went about joining the Warriors. We're going to say that you guys are, you guys are doing super team and taking it to the next level. That's what the media is supposed to do. That's what fans are supposed to do. They're supposed to talk. Your job is to go and play basketball and try to win championships. Avoid the nonsense. Like, for me, it's like the fact that you have so much time tells me that you care too much. And you said you were happy. If you're so happy, you shouldn't be worried about people commenting about what your decision was and how it should impact your legacy. You should be the one that's entitled to dictate how your legacy plays out. Not fans, not media. So get off Instagram, bro. Are you serious? Lastly, we're going to talk about Skip Bayless. And I'm only going to talk about Skip Bayless once here. Skip Bayless should cut LeBron James a check every time he talks about him. Okay? And he never has anything valid to say. It's not that I'm criticizing Skip for talking about somebody in not the most glorious way, like LeBron James is not the GOAT. Whatever. You can feel LeBron James is not great, whatever. That's up to you. But the fact that Skip Bayless had found new ways to just talk about LeBron tells me that undisputed, Fox Sports 1 and Skip needs to be cutting that man a check every time they talk about him because it's getting ridiculous. Today, as I was scrolling through, I saw through TV, I saw Skip and Shannon Sharp talking about LeBron James. Chris Broussard was on the show as well. But what stuck out to me was the fact that they weren't even talking about LeBron James attending the Summer League, which was whatever. He attended Summer League, big deal, no big deal. But they're talking about, Skip was talking about LeBron James wearing his hat backwards.
Are you serious?
Are you serious? So now we're criticizing LeBron for how he wears his hat. I'm moving. We're going to wrap it up here. I'm moving on to the wrap it up segment because I can't say nothing more about Skip.
All right, we got to wrap this up, though.
Wrap it up then.
Back to King James. Okay, LeBron was seen at Summer League yesterday, and he was repping hard, okay? Not only did he have his Lakers shorts on, who apparently are selling now for $500. It's not an official Lakers shorts with the team or the NBA. It's Mitchell and Ness who did a combination, and they're selling the shorts, and LeBron James sported them yesterday. And I was like, I've never seen those before. They're dope, they're fly, but He made an appearance at Summer League when he didn't have to. LeBron came to support his teammates. He just want to let his teammates know, okay, I'm here. I want to check y'all out. Y'all got my support. I'm here fully in LA, and I'm so devoted to the Lakers that I'm going to come in some Lakers shorts and make the whole entire world talk about me and break the internet for me having $500 shorts. LeBron, shout outs to you, bruh. You the real MVP. Kawhi Leonard, today he's officially eligible for a Supermax contract from the Spurs. Now that Supermax is 5 years, $221 million. That's $44 million per year. And Kawhi has been very clear, I don't care about the bag, bruh. Trade me. So Kawhi, you're really like a testament of money don't mean everything, and my happiness doesn't rely on how much money I can make. Shout outs to you for that. Jimmy Butler last week, Friday, officially turned down a contract extension from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, Jimmy Butler has apparently rumored to be wanting to be teammates with Kyrie Irving next year, whether it be with the Celtics or the Knicks. So him turning down the contract extension from the Timberwolves has to have the Timberwolves kind of like shaky and be like, oh, okay, this guy actually might leave come summertime. So we'll see how that plays out. Okay, France wins the World Cup. I'm not a fan of France. France doesn't represent a lot of what I would support, historically, being of Haitian descent. So, France, you won a World Cup. Congratulations to you, but I'm not celebrating you. Whatever. Cristiano Ronaldo was officially announced today as a player that transferred officially from Real Madrid, one of the probably the best sports soccer team in all of Europe, to Juventus of Italy. So it's weird today. He was announced, and I seen him greeting the fans. It's just weird seeing him in other jerseys with different colors from Real Madrid, man. Like, seeing him in that Juventus jersey, I'm excited to see how it plays out because he's 33 at this point as well, and he feels like he could play into his 40s and be, still an elite soccer player. We'll see how that plays out. But it was just really odd to see him there. I wish him the best of luck. I hope he brings a Euro to the Juventus team and do his thing out in Italy. And okay, that was all of our show for today. we're going to wrap it up. Make sure you check us out on YouTube at New Villa Radio. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Designated Report. And make sure you follow us on the blog. Go check out our new videos, our new podcast, and our new blogs at DesignatedReport.com. That's DesignatedReport.com. I'm Sean Alcide. Holla.